Hey everybody, it's Randall. How you doing? I've been writing a lot of film stuff and just doing all that production things that you have to do, and my brain has just been full of things. So I finally took a little break and wanted to throw out another video, and this time about the kids of divorce. Unfortunately, divorce is a pretty prevalent thing, so there are a lot of kids involved in this, and I've talked to a few, and that led me to think about doing something like this. So look, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, not a child therapist, but I've met a good number of them. And trust me, the bar ain't so high, so I don't feel bad doing this. I think I can add some real value. So, talking to the kids, and hopefully I'm talking directly to some of you guys and gals, no matter how old you are, because the first thing is you're a lot smarter than adults give you a, you know, than adults think you are, and you know what's going on. Uh, it's an emotional thing. I have two kids, and phew, it's broken my heart a few times. The first thing I want to say is you have to watch the whole video that I'm doing. It's not that long, don't worry, and there's no math involved or stuff you have to memorize. But I want you to watch the whole thing because I'll say some things at the beginning that I need you to put in perspective, think about as we talk about another way to view what I refer to. You'll see as we go along. First thing I want to do is acknowledge that divorce sucks. Sucks for the parents, of course, but for the kids, it sucks. And a lot of times the kids are being told, it's difficult, we know, but it's going to be all right. You'll get over it. Get over it. Um, but just like when somebody passes away, grandparents, someone you respect, or you move schools or what have you, that kind of stuff, there's a period you want to give yourself some time to mourn, to say, hey, this happened and I feel it, and let yourself feel it. You don't need to rush through it, and I think that's wrong. So we acknowledge that a parent's job is to create a safe, loving environment for their children. And many have, even after divorce or during divorce. But you cannot escape the fact, as you know, that the seas are rocky. You have these two people who you love, you know, there's tension there. It could be high arguing, or it could be they're amicable, meaning they're trying to be friends, but still there's a split. So there's all along the there are different levels of this, but it's painful, and I feel for you, and I'm very sorry, from me to you. Um, so the next question is: here you are, you feel it. What are you going to do about it? That's the part where we have to grow up a little, faster as children of divorce. My parents weren't, but I'm using that as just a broad blanket statement. Well, it's a good lesson in leadership. What does that mean? Well, if you have younger siblings, like I am close to somebody, a young person whose parents are probably getting divorced, that person has two younger siblings. And one thing I said was, look, like it or not, this is a good lesson in leadership, because the younger siblings will look up to you now as a form of stability. Because mom and dad, again, even if they're best friends and do a good job, they're still in separate places, separate communication. You leave a book at mom's house, you got to go pick up your cleats at dad's house that you left there after soccer practice or whatever. There's that difference going on, different people, different times, blah, blah, blah. And the older sibling, is the one most likely that's in both places. And so they're that stability for you. And if you're that older sibling, you know, everything's a choice, but try to step up to the plate and be that solid person for the kids, your siblings. Man, Twitter is a pain. All this technology. Okay, so just a little thing with that too. parents are human. You know, they're going to say stupid stuff probably. They're going to do stupid stuff. Think of it as a storm. The rain comes, just let it pass as best you can. And if it gets you inside like this, totally understand that. Just try to have that passing storm idea in your mind. Again, some parents have done a very good job of being friends and smoothing things, but others, you know, argue in front of each other, try to get you as the child to side with one or the other, say bad things about one parent to the children. Hey, it's a dumb thing to do. Now, I wouldn't say tell your parents that's stupid to do. Just say to yourself they're going through a hard time and this is just them. They're human. It's a hard lesson to learn when you're little. I totally understand. I feel for you, but I'm just trying to give you a view on the other side of all this from way high up, as if you were in a plane flying over this. You're going to go through this, but you're not going to use it as an excuse in your life. You have to find what value maybe there is. Leadership lessons. You get 2 holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever your thing is. Try to start viewing these things that way, because in life, you know, we're all going to deal with things that affect our health, maybe friendships, you know, all getting cut from sports teams, whatever. Disappointment lurks out there. And like it or not, you're getting an early education in that. So let's try to make the most of it. Kind of going back to the beginning, and I think actually people have done a pretty good job of this nowadays for you guys, kids. You are not the cause, okay? If anything, you're probably why they stayed together longer. And the other part of that is you have power, because obviously I just said they may have stayed together for you, but you don't have that much power to split parents. Believe me, I've never heard of parents splitting because of a kid. So I understand why you feel that way, and my son, I had to deal with that a little bit with him as well. You know, when we were arguing, my ex-wife and I, he would say sometimes, why don't you guys just separate or divorce? And then it happened, and he put 2 and 2 together naturally. But it had nothing to do with that. I made sure he understood that. Nothing to do with it. And abandon, meaning you'll be left alone because the parents are going, not going to happen. You know, if anything, there'll be too much in your space, right? Oh, I have this present for you, or are you okay, and all this kind of thing. So it might be the opposite. You're for a good reason, thinking, are they going to leave me here because they're splitting and there's all this fighting going on, and maybe you as a child are in that environment where the parents aren't doing a good job of communicating, and it's very scary for you. But you're not going to get abandoned. Parents are not going to do that, even if they're acting silly and like idiots, quite frankly. I've done it. You know, slipped into that with my ex-wife and brought it back. I think I'm pretty good with that. You know, I think parents have done a good job of this too, but one of the things I made sure to do for my kids, and you do for yourself if that's not happening for you, is a creative outlet. What does that mean? So you have a lot of stress and anxiety and worry going around you, right? Obviously. And while we can use our mind to think of, okay, Randall said this is like a storm, I just want to let it go by, and I'm going to use that imagery. That's important. But you also want to have an outlet, and that's a creative outlet. Could be sports, could be drawing, could be music. Trust me, filmmaking. A lot of filmmakers and artists were very influenced, if not pushed totally in that direction, by some garbage like this happening at home. Making films, writing. Now, you know, if you're old enough to to make a film, go do it. Or take up drawing, take up drums, take up guitar. And if you're in a situation where mom and dad are so preoccupied, also you're moving around, all these parts are changing, think about something that you'd like to try and say, hey, mom or dad, I'd like to try drums. I got my daughter into drums because I wanted her to have that outlet, the physical too. I think it's good to have something physical. Maybe you want to do sculpture, swimming. Sports is great, but maybe you want to do something else, musical. Like you get the point. Find something that works for you, that you're drawn to, and don't wait for your parents to come. Say, is there anything you'd like to do, or read your mind? You have to tell them, I want to do this after school. I want to take drums, or I want to draw, or Peter, my friend, or Jill, my friend, is on the swimming team. I want to try it. Because you'll find that you can take all that energy and push it into that and use it as fuel for finding out new things and trying new things and that kind of stuff. Okay, that's a lot on you as a little person. I'm not so sure I can handle what I'm telling you to do or think about when I was the age of some of you watching. But, kids are sharp these days, and I'm sure you're one of them. So, the hardest thing is to see the good and bad things, but give it a shot. Even if it's a little bit, hey, this sucks, but at least we'll have 2 holidays. Or, you know what, this was really not fun, but, I never would have started swimming or writing music or doing this if this hadn't pushed me, okay? Because this is a good early lesson in life. That's all I got. And, I wish you the best of luck, my friends. And I'll talk to you soon, I hope. Bye-bye.